there we go. Okay, before I get started, I'd like to rant a little bit about why this game in particular. I mean, Telltale games, they're about giving you a story. You play through a story, and there's not a whole lot of gameplay to it. It's a fucking visual novel, and that's great. The problem with this game in particular is it's kind of riding the coattails of A, the books, and B, the HBO show, which is fine. You can have your game in the Game of Thrones world. That's perfectly fine. But where they kind of falter is that it's directly in the middle of what's going on in the books and in the story. Not like a little side story that you may not really know about. You actually directly interact with people like Cersei, Marjorie Tyrell, Lannister, fucking Tyrion Lannister, Jon Snow, as he knows not a lot, and who else? Oh yeah, Ramsay Snow, and your characters who are, I'm assuming, new to the series. They're not in the books, as far as I know. Maybe half-heartedly mentioned somewhere, but your characters go up against these people in one or two ways, and like those characters can't die. They're going to be on the show, or they're in the books. This game isn't going to like off Tyrion by him drowning in a puddle, or what you really want to do, which is stab Cersei in the face like 90 times. You're not going to be able to do that, and because of the lore is current, and it's not like, say, what I would suggest. Talk about like stuff that happened in the past. There's so much fucking so much lore that you could place this fucking story in. It could be during Robert's rebellion. It could be during the day the fucking Targaryens just decided we're gonna bring 3 dragons over and ruin you all and change the face of fighting whatsoever. Doesn't matter how many armies you have, matters how much dragon you have. But instead you're stuck, like, you start at the fucking Red Wedding. Sorry, there might be spoilers from here on. So if you haven't seen Game of Thrones, you may not want to proceed. But the Red Wedding is basically a lot of people dying, and you don't even get to see that in the first episode. But you do get to see everyone get betrayed. The outside people, the people not invited to the wedding. But if you know the books, you know what's going on. You hear the Rains of Castamere, and you know what's going on. It's not a surprise. If you're not well, versed in the Game of Thrones universe, it gives you no reason to care. So it's like you're fucked either way. It's not like new and intriguing because it's dropping this right in your lap. I mean, the Red Wedding and the betrayal isn't shocking unless you have the context, and there's not a lot of context unless you watch the show, and if you watch the show, you know what the fuck is going on, so it's not surprising. So it's vanilla. It packs no punch. Whereas if they were to set it somewhere else, not dealing with the actual politics of Westeros, but, kind of dabbling in the story, especially if it had all new characters. That's what they did with The Walking Dead, and it was perfect. It was perfect because they took the comic universe of The Walking Dead, they integrated, I think, one character, no, 2 characters, Herschel and Glenn, right, from the comics. But other than that, they were all new characters, and they let them build their own lore because it was a zombie apocalypse and there was plenty of stories to tell, and it was set in Atlanta, so that you could run into some iconic characters and you can be like, oh my fucking god, there was goddamn Glenn, and he was here for 2 seconds. But, you know, it wasn't a crutch. Whereas, you know, I'm going into this, but I know I'm gonna meet Jon Snow, and, you know, I'm probably gonna deal with Tyrion, and they're an actual part of the story. Not something that kind of comes in and comes out, but they actually mean something to the story, for which seems forced. It seems like it's forced down your throat. But anyway, I'm gonna move on. We're gonna make some bad decisions. Let's get going.